Hello, good afternoon, traders. If you can hear my voice loud and clear and you can see my screen, please type a yes in the comment section. Good afternoon, Aldi, Bamidele, Olatunji, Bello, Mohammed.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Ma, and you're welcome on board. All right, so let's start. I think everybody is here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Madam Manaji. All right. So this afternoon session, we're looking at the fundamentals because, like I said earlier in the morning, today is going to be more of fundamentals than technicals. Now you can see the news in the morning from the Eurozone. Virtually, let me confirm. Okay, the first one came out, bad for the euro, which led to a bearish movement, slightly bearish movement, and eventually the other ones came out good for the euro, which where the I think the movement was able to override the bearish earlier trend. Now, the news came out bad for the pound. So we saw bearish movement on the pound. Now we're looking at the dollar. The next stage is the dollar by 1:30 p.m. That is less than an hour from now. And we're looking at the unemployment claims. And this news measures the number of individuals who filed for unemployment insurance for the first time during the past week. Actual less than forecast is good for the currency. So if by 1:30 p.m. We have the forecast being 234K, if the actual is less than 234K, maybe 230K and below, then we'll be looking at an opportunity to buy, the dollar. However, if the actual comes out greater than the forecast, that is greater than 234K, we'll be looking at selling the dollar in that instance. And by 2:45 p.m., okay, we have monetary policy reports hearings from the United Kingdom is tentative. So that means that no specific time has been allotted to that as at now. No specific time has been given. And by 2:45 p.m., there'll be the flash manufacturing PMI for the United States and flash services PMI. Then by 3 p.m., there'll be new home sales. So we have a lot of news events from the United States from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. If all of them come out green, as in one after the other, if they are all green, that will lead to a massive bullish movement for the dollar. And if all of them turns around to be red, that will lead to a massive bearish movement on the dollar. But you see, some of these events are not related. They are not related at all. Like the unemployment claims is different from flash manufacturing PMI. That one also is different from the new home sales. So there's no relationship between them. So to have all green or red may have very remote chances. But if that's what turns out, if it turns out to be, that will be perfect. If it's all green or all red, all green will look at buying, all red will look at selling. But it's also possible to have a conflicting data. That's a scenario where some may be red and some may be green. But I'll flip to the technicals now. The last one is 8:45 p.m. is a Bank of England Governor Bailey speech. We're not really bothered about that. Let me flip over to the, excuse me. Yeah, so let me flip over to my MetaTrader. So in the morning, I said that we are bearish on the dollar and we still maintain that outlook. For those who didn't join us, the reason why we saw a bearish on the dollar is that we have price hitting a resistance level on the daily time frame on the dollar index. The dollar index is that financial instrument that gives us insight into the next move of the dollar. So if it's trading at a resistance level, then technically we should be looking at an opportunity to sell the dollar. And I showed us in the morning using the USD CHF, which is also trading at a resistance level on the weekly time frame. And we have a rising wedge on 4 hour. And I said we'll be looking to sell the USD CHF if the news comes out not to favor the dollar. So if by 1:45 p.m., 2 p.m., and 3 p.m., the news comes out not to favor the dollar, then we might be looking at an opportunity to sell the USD CHF. Though at that instance, well, if it's a news, we just go ahead and trigger a sell if the news comes out, not to favor the dollar, that is as a red, because that is what we are seeing technically. Now, what we try to do is to align the technical with the fundamentals to give us a holistic view of the next move of the market. So with our bearish outlook on the market, we'll be looking at selling the USD CHF if the news comes out not to favor the dollar. Now, what happens if the news now actually favors the dollar? If the news favors the dollar, then price will move slightly bullish to hit the resistance here, then it may still eventually fall later. So if it favors the dollar and you want to take a buy, please do it with a lot of caution. Personally, I would rather advise you stick strictly with a bearish outlook. But if you feel you want to buy, do it with a lot of caution because it's just a few pips to the resistance before we may end up with a reversal. So I prefer you to look more at the long term, which is a bearish direction. And we have a similar outlook on the USD card that's also trading around the resistance level on the daily time frame. It even has a rejection candle earlier. If the news comes out not to favor the dollar, we'll be seeing a bearish movement on the USD card. However, I also said in the morning analysis that the USD card is trying to form a pattern right here. It's trying to, which is looking a lot like it's trying to form a head and a shoulder, and that's before it finally sells. Now it will go up, price will go up if the news comes out to favor the dollar, but the movement will be a short-term movement. It's just to hit that resistance, and currently that will require close to some 20 pips thereabouts before it hits the resistance and reverses. Now at the point of reversal, price will need to break out below the neckline, which is here. Again, I will still maintain that I hold a bearish outlook on the dollar and we'll be looking at trading only if the news comes out not to favor the dollar that is looking for an opportunity to sell. Because sometimes, even though I said that price may hit the resistance, I don't control the market. Sometimes price may get there or it may not get there before the reversal happens. So you don't want to be caught up in the mix. So you want to just trade what you know is long term for you to have a better result. So I still retain my bearish outlook on the dollar on the USD card, just like on the USD CHF. Then for my AUD USD, GBP USD, Euro USD, I remain bullish on all this. The news in the morning already brought some movement on the Euro USD. So the news this afternoon will further, if it's in line with our outlook on the Euro USD, will further solidify the bullish outlook that we have on the Euro USD. So this is the Euro USD on the daily, on the 4-hour time frame. We have a trend line both in front and the back, which is giving us a falling wedge pattern. So if the news comes out not to favor the dollar, that is, if the dollar goes bearish, then we have a further bullish movement on the Euro USD. The same thing goes for the GBP USD. If the news comes out not to favor the dollar, then we'll see a bullish movement on the GBP USD. You can see it's already trying to form some bullish activity already. So if the news comes out not to favor the dollar, then that will trigger a further bullish movement on the GBP USD. The same thing goes for the AUD USD and the New Zealand USD. We're bullish on all of them while we are bearish on the USD CHF and the USD card. And finally, I'll look at the BTC. I seem to have a special interest on this one based on the pattern it's forming. Now for the BTC USD, I said it in the morning that price hits, let me start all over again. We have price hitting a resistance term support level on the daily time frame, and a candle that closed yesterday closed as a rejection candle. These are two indications of a bullish movement on the BTC. Now, if you flip over to a lower time frame like 4 hour, this is what we have. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, I said it in the morning that price is forming an inverse head, and I said it will drop. You can see that between morning and night it has dropped and it's trying to make its way up. So it's forming an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which will lead to a bullish movement. And I said we can look at a buy opportunity if price, breaks out above this minor resistance here, which will be the neckline region. So whenever price breaks out above this level, that is, what I mean by a breakout is when a new candle opens above this level, then we can look at taking a buy trade on the BTC USD. Now, price is expected to target this profit level here, which is the next resistance level. Now, it's possible for price to break above that level and go way higher. That is very possible. At least this should be our first take profit level. So I'm bullish on the BTC USD. All right, that'll be all from my end this afternoon. If you have a question, you can drop it and I'll respond to you. So let me do a little recap. So my recap is that we're bearish on the dollar, we're bearish on the USD CHF, we're bearish on the USD CAD, and we're bullish on the AUD USD, the Euro USD, the GBP USD, and the New Zealand USD. And I'm also bullish on the BTC USD. So that's the last one. Okay, Caleb, what will you say? What you said about the other USD pairs also hold true for USD JPY? Well, like I always say, I don't believe you have to dump all of them together if they are not having any setup. For USD JPY, I said in the morning, it may sell, but for me, I'm not seeing some parameters I normally look out for around it. For me, this drop is too sharp. I feel it may go up. Now, let me just say this again. While we are bearish on the dollar, if for one reason or the other, the dollar might go bullish, then you may look at buying the USD JPY. If the dollar at all decides to go bullish, you can buy the USD JPY. The reason is because from what I'm seeing, I'm not, there are certain things I look out for, which I'm not really seeing here. And I said it specifically in the morning that the way this thing is looking, it may drop. I don't know if anybody was in the morning, go back to form a double top before it finally drops. So if the news comes out good for the dollar, then please look at buying just the USD JPY. Otherwise, if it's bad for the dollar, then you can sell the USD CHF and the USD CAD. The USD JPY still has room to go back up as much as 92 pips, compared to the USD CHF and the USD CAD that has just less than 30 pips. So if the news favors the dollar, then buy the USD JPY. You have some good trade with that. So I think I've responded to Caleb with that. USD JPY, I already gave the outlook, giving effects. Euro CAD. Now, from the analysis this morning, especially when we were to look at the news, I mentioned the US Euro CAD and I said I hold a bullish outlook. And that's because price, hit a support zone yesterday and closed, on that, around that support zone. Not only that, the candle for the Euro CAD that closed yesterday was a rejection candle. And today also, Euro CAD is forming a rejection candle. All these are indication of the bullish movement. So probably after all the noise of the news might have died down, this instrument may continue in its bullish direction. This is Euro CAD on the 4-hour. And I said we might also be seeing the formation of what is looking like a double bottom pattern, which might drive price up. So all these things being equal, you can see we have quite a number of rejection candles ranging here. All this may lead to a bullish movement on the Euro CAD. So I hold a bullish outlook on the Euro CAD. All right, so I think I've attended to all the questions. That will be all for this afternoon session. Take care and bye-bye.